Welcome back to another episode of Goat-Worthy Reactions, where we mainly like to focus on the goats on this channel. And today we got a special one, man. We got a double reaction for that ass. We got REN Bittersweet Symphony. We're going to do the verb, and we're also going to do the live version. So we got the studio version and the live version. Let's get right into it, man. Listen, if this is your first time watching my reaction, or if this is your first time watching me do a REN reaction, just go to the description box below. I got season 1 and season 2 of Making-A-RENegade, which is what the Renegades were doing to turn me into a renegade, showing me different songs, and I made reactions out of them. Each reaction is an episode, so I've started a cool little docu-series just to make the reactions more engaging and just more cool, more interesting, right? So we're on Making-A-RENegade season 2 already. So this is season 2, episode 7. So if you missed everything else, hit the description box, hit the links, and watch what you missed. If there's anything else that you didn't see, there's some exclusive on Patreon. And if you enjoy this, consider joining the Patreon, man. But let's do it, man. We got REN Bittersweet Symphony.
I've got dirt on my Reeboks from staying up all night. Spent my last £10 on this pack of Marlboro Lights. I phoned up Stevie, I said, G, you alright? He said, it's 6 in the morning, brother, get some shut-eye. I feel a sense of well-being this time in the morning. Wear my heart out of my hoodie while the city is snoring. Drunks falling off the sidewalks get issued a warning. Distant sirens, they crescendo like a symphony calling. This is the Britain I know, this is the Britain I love. There's poetry inside this city if you listen enough. Working class casualties out on the street sleep rough, while a mother with her baby takes her pram to the pub. And while she's knocking them down, the cost of living goes up. I can't relate to politicians with their head in the mud. I resonate with messy Fridays with the boy smoking bud. We do our bit to numb the struggle, as below so above, and as above so below. Here in the city we glow. I blow a smoke ring up to heaven and it makes a halo. And then the clock strikes 7, guess it's time to head home. My companion is the city, so I'm never alone. I'm stepping in and out of gaps of the pavement cracks, and if I go to sleep now, that's an anti-climax. People rise for work and the sun mirrors that. A perfect juxtaposition for those out on the lash. Bear with me, it's beautiful, I think it's irrefutable. There's beauty in the contradicting Britain, indisputable. Junkie in the cubicle, that old spoon is usable. His mother's in the black suit, crying at a funeral. 9 to 5 crucible, this route is not commutable. A kid falls.
He getting in this little rap bag, huh? Listen, the hunger did it for me. The hunger did it for me. When I saw the hunger, I was like, oh, nah, buddy's a rapper. Okay, I just thought he was one of those orchestrated, decorated artists, you know, who just play a whole bunch of instruments, can sing, you know, do all of that, but also, you know, can get into his little rap bag a little something. But, yeah, it's clear that he can get into, I want to know, besides the hunger, because the hunger was good, how many songs does he have where he really gets into it? Because I haven't done that many songs where he get into a rap bag. He raps well on many songs, but I just mean like that cocky rap bag. So I did Halftime, that was good. That's on the Patreon. And I did The Hunger. Those are the two that come to mind when I think about rap. But anyways, let's keep it going. I want to get through it before I break it down. I want to get through the song because it's a short one, so let's just get through it because we still got the live one to do. But I like it. I like what he's doing. He's painting the picture of his city, man. He's painting the picture of Britain, right? Where he's, I don't know, not where he's from. He's from Wales, but from what I've read, but what some of you guys have told me, but he lives in Britain, right? And he loves it. He's proud of it, man. I can relate to that. I'm from New York, and I'm proud of being from New York. And it's just that feeling, right? When you go to the city, right? I didn't grow up in the city, but when you go to the city, it's just like this. I don't know. It's this feeling. It's irrefusable. I don't know if that's what he said, but he was doing a lot of usables. Those are one of my favorite rhyme sounds, the ooh sounds.
Cool, that old spoon is usable. His mother's in the black suit, crying at a funeral. 9 to 5 crucible, this route is not commutable. A kid falls off the tracks and then he serves a scratch at juvenile. Libby's at the Dolies, but her disposition's humorful, while Davy's at the bookies and his mates call him delusional. Britain, drink it down and moan about the weather. When the sun starts shining, feel the factor 10 tremor. Boys will be in it together until the fists start flying like they're Conor McGregor, and then he's out. I think he took it too far. I think the boy saw red. I think he hit him too hard. Now he's face down on the pavement with the face full of tar. Mad how small altercations can define who we are. That's my cue. I guess it's time to head home. It's bittersweet how my high found its way to below. And I've said it once before, as above so below. Living on the streets of Britain, you just go with the flow. But I'm done. I'm out for the night. As the sun paints the pavements, I'll turn out the light. White noise on the radio to quiet my mind. Always was an overthinker, just the way I'm designed. Britain, drink it down and moan about the weather. When it's all said and done, we'll be in it all together. Boys, we'll be like it forever. It's a bittersweet symphony, we're birds of a feather.
Just I don't know. Even that right there just reminded me of being at the beach, like, you know, Robert Moses, a beach in New York, Long Island. It's just hearing the birds. Like he just knows how to put it together. You know what I'm saying? He knows how to paint the picture. A lot of imagery. He was doing a lot of imagery, man. Just the way he delivers his lyrics, especially on things like this. Now I'm really itching to hear the live version because the way he delivers the lyrics, he's so ready for a musical. He's so ready for like a dope hip hop musical where he just plays a bunch of characters and like he can write the whole musical. He needs to get with Lin-Manuel. I keep saying it. Lin-Manuel is a beast with the musicals. He needs to get with him, man. They need to create a dope. I don't know. Maybe like because the story of Violet and Screech and Jenny, that could have been a story in the musical. His songs could all be. He could just make a musical out of his songs. To be honest with you, he can. Or he could just scrap it and write a whole new one. But let's break it down. I got the lyrics pulled up. I knew it was going to be one of those. I knew I was going to need the lyrics pulled up. He said, I've got dirt on my Reeboks from staying out all night. I spent my last 10 pounds on this pack of Marble Lights. He said, I phoned up Stevie. I said, G, you all right? He said, it's 6 a.m, brother. Get some shut-eye. I like his accent, man. You can barely hear it now, but I can barely hear it now because I've been listening to REN for like over 2 months straight now, right? So now I barely hear the accent, but I'm just so used to it. But I really like this, man. I like how he just kicks it off with just image of like exhaustion, recklessness, right? You know, dirt covered sneakers. He says, you know, a night spent wandering the streets. You know what I mean? And like it's a final splurge on the cigarettes when he mentions that. I know I don't smoke nothing like that, but I just know he's hitting things that people really relate to. Like they connect to that. They connect to it because they know that feeling, they know that smell, they know that allure. He's building it properly, man. This opening, I feel like captures that, just the familiar feeling of just burning out, right? Just burning out, like chasing temporary pleasures, or while scraping by with the little that you have at the same time. So he's keeping it very relatable. Even the interactions, you know, with Stevie, you know, it just highlights how like the night seems endless to come for him. Anyways, he's still ready to go. He's had a long night, but he's still ready to go. While others are trying to get rest. Like he's being a little inconsiderate. Everybody knows somebody like that, but it's just this duality that he creates, right? And he's famous for it. He always does it, right? But being stuck in moments that feel exhilarating and empty, and that starts to unfold throughout the song. You know what I'm saying? Just from this point on, you really get the sense of it, because I feel sense of. He said I feel a sense of well-being this time in the morning, where my heart out on my hoodie while my city is snoring. Drunks falling off the sidewalks get issued a warnings. Distant sirens, like they crescendo like a symphony calling. Like when he got into that bag, I was like, nah, dude, you need to write a musical, dog. You need to. Yo, hit me up. I'll help you write something. You know what I'm saying? I was working on my own musical at one point, but I fell off because I got uninspired. But again, I just get re-inspired when I listen to REN. That's one thing I gotta give him credit for, is the inspiration. Like a lot of people motivate, a lot of people, you know, generate buzz, a lot of people get attention, but not a lot of people inspire. Not a lot of people write lyrics that make others. It's like a call for action, right? Not a lot of people are able to do that with their words and make other people move. Like, it's time to stop talking about it. Let's move. You know what I mean? Action. You know what I'm saying? Chase your dreams, whatever it is, right? But I just feel like REN really taps into the strange, I would say, calmness that can come at the tail end of chaos, right? So it's like early morning hours when the world is asleep. You know, it feels oddly peaceful for him. Like he maybe because he grew up in it, you know what I'm saying? It's something he's accustomed to. And I definitely relate to that. Being from New York, I definitely relate to what he's saying right there, because it's like a moment of reflection without interruption for him, right? Especially that ending part. The ending part really did it for me, yeah. But he just describes this world with like such a cinematic imagery. Like, it's just dope. Like, that's one of his major talents, I would say. Like, things that stick out to me about him is how his cinematic imagery. NF does the same thing. Like, they just get real cinematic with their imagery. The sirens, the crescendo, you know, forming an urban symphony, he calls it, right? This is what I said I would say this is what the whole Bittersweet Symphony really begins to take form at this point on, because there's a beauty hidden in this mess, right? There's the dissonance of city life somehow becoming musical. You know what I'm saying? Man, I'm just urging him to please. If somebody told me that he was working on something, I hope he gets back to it, because he can do it and he can make the greatest musical play ever. I'm saying he might need a little guidance when it comes to Lin-Manuel, as far as like how to really put it together, cohesiveness, timing, stuff like that. But he's capable of writing it for sure, But it's this tension, right, between disorder and art that Ren is just fascinated by, it seems, right? This is the Britain I know. This is the Britain I love. There's poetry inside the city if you listen close enough, or if you listen enough. Working class casualties out on the streets sleep rough, while a mother with her baby takes a prom to the pub. I like when he gets in his little little UK slang bag. You know what I'm saying? I be learning, bro. I be learning when I be listening to Ren. I'm not gonna cap. Ren isn't talking about the Britain that you hear about, the Britain that you see about in the this isn't the polished, touristy, friendly image you'd find in a postcard. You know what I mean? It's the raw, the flawed, the real Britain is what he's describing, right? He sees poetry in everyday scenes, you know what I'm saying? So, but it's harsh, right? It's a harsh kind of poetry, but at the same time, like the homeless individuals on the streets that he speaks about, the contrast with the mother taking her child to the pub, you know what I mean? Like that the normalizing behaviors, that highlight, I guess, the country's struggles with poverty and escapism almost, right? So these moments show how closely, like, I feel like pain and routine are intertwined for many in the working class. So I would say the working class, middle class, or however you want to label it, there's a lot of relation going on here. Like I relate to this wholeheartedly, for sure, and I'm not even from there, but I take his experience and I look at it from my own, right? So, and while she's knocking them down, the cost of living goes up. I can't relate to politicians with their head in the mud. I resonate with Messy Fridays with the boy smoking bud. We do our bit to numb the struggle, as he said, as below so above. I like that. And what's crazy is that that's very poetic, right? Just to say something like that, it's very poetic. I know he says it later or whatever, but like it's very poetic to even say that in that fashion. And I think he focuses on that. I don't think these things are by accident. I think he's a natural poet. I'm not saying he purposely places them there, but I just think it's very natural. It's never forced when it comes, because like this to me is where Ren's frustration with the system comes into focus, which we know he speaks about often, right? He just did it with Money Ties. He does it often with the money games. While the ordinary, I guess, people turn to vices to cope with, I guess, life's pressures, whether it's drinks, weed, or just wild nights, right? Politicians are disconnected, and that's the point he's making. So I feel like the angles, he can take so many angles with this, but they're just stuck in their own world. You know what I'm saying? So you don't expect them to move any differently. You know what I'm saying? Don't expect them to move any different. What he said, as below, so above. It's a clever reversal of just hermetic principle almost, right? So it's like the meaning is just that the struggles on the streets mirror the dysfunction at the top. So there's a connection that's disconnected, but there is something there, because what they do is a direct effect of what happens down here. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. I love that he said that, because I've always viewed life that way, and the fact that he mentioned it in that type of way. I mean, he's put it together in a very poetic, like, dope way. But I've always thought that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people think that, but I've always had that implication in my mind. People at all levels of society are just trying to survive, albeit in very different ways, though. In very different ways, right? Let's keep scrolling. It's like the reason people ask me why I always have the lyrics up. I have the lyrics up because I want to show respect to the artists who took their time writing these lyrics. Like, I know my reactions are a little long or whatever, but it's like, because I'm trying to show respect to everything this man sat down and consciously wrote down. Like, so we got to go over all the lyrics, you know what I'm saying? Not all of them, you know what I'm saying? I could speed by a few things, but when you got an artist like Ren, he's very decorated, he's very direct, he's very descriptive. So you got to be careful skipping a few lines with him, you know what I'm saying? But I like, it's an imagery of just what he do, of just urban life and just consequences almost, right? The ugly, the beauty, the harsh, the brutal, everything wrapped in one because all of it's life. So I blow a smoke. He said, I blow a smoke ring up to heaven and make a halo. Like I like it's just like I can't relate to that. I don't smoke, do anything like that. But the whole point is that it's a form of freedom he's speaking in, and at the same time, we're all caged. We're all stuck here. You know what I'm saying? So it's dope. It's dope. That alone is dope. So I make a halo, and then the clock strikes 7. Guess it's time to head home. My companion is the city, so I'm never alone. He said, I'm stepping in and out of gaps of the paving cracks. Like we know we all done that. We try to skip a crack, whatever. That's not what he's talking about. But it's just dope that like he even puts that in there. Like he even slipped that in there. Like why? Because he's trying to tap into your past. He's trying to tap into a reminder. This is how he connects to his fans. He will bring something up and it will tap a memory box in your head that you haven't thought about in over a decade. You probably haven't thought about since you was a child. He's able to tap into that. That's what I give credit to him and Eminem. They're able to bring up certain things or reference certain things, a memory of their own that will tap into yours, and you'll just be like, wow, I haven't thought of that in 20 years. But I remember it like yesterday. Like I know that feeling. And that's true artistry right there. That's true poetry, I would say, right? But I just feel like these lines are just beautiful. They're just beautifully poetic, man. And I can't say it enough. It's just capturing the loneliness and the strange companionship the city offers to him. And whoever's from this city, whoever could relate to this from their own city, like there's tons of just reflection going on, right? So Ren, he makes us a smoke ring, right? It's a fleeting fragile thing. You know what I mean? It's like, and it turns into a halo in his mind, right? And that's how he sees life. That's a very positive way to life. So he's hinting at what? He's hinting at how even small acts carry, I guess, symbolic weight. You know what I mean? It depends where your frequency is at mentally. Like it really depends. But not everybody's gonna relate or correlate with that or anything like that. Some people are just like, oh, that's just weird. A lot of people say Ren's just weird. I just like, you're weird. Like you're weird for not taking time to listen. You're weird for not taking time to, read the lyrics or pay attention to the song or pay attention to what he's saying. Like you're weird for not understanding that there's a message behind everything he does. You're weird, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what I told somebody recently. I was trying to put them on to Ren. I'm like, you're weird. But he said the clock strikes 7. He's just signaling at the end of the night's escapades. You know what I'm saying? It's just that's where everything starts to die down, I guess, in his city maybe. But the city remains his constant companion though. And that's where it's kind of revolving around almost, but there's both, I guess, comfort and sadness in this, I would say. While he's never truly alone, he's never really connected with anything meaningful, almost, like I'm saying. Because he's not trying to just say, stay positive, even through the ugly. No, he's letting you know that it's sad sometimes, you know what I'm saying? And he may be covering it up with this description that he's giving of his city. But yeah, there's sadness in this too. Like he wants you to feel this, because I feel it. I know it's real because I feel it in my heart. I feel the sadness, you know what I'm saying? Even when I don't fully understand or hear every word he says, when I run it back and peel the layers back, I knew there was something there. So even if I go to sleep now, that's a anticlimax, dope. People rise for work and the sun mirrors that. A perfect juxtaposition for those out on the lash. I like when he just uses, like, I don't even have to know, just the way he uses these, I would say slang terms, right? Because not out on the lash is not something people say in the States much. But the way he places these things, he makes it easy to grasp, easy to understand. Like I know what he means. That just means like partying, right? Like or just out in the town, out on the lash, like chilling, drinking, just living free. That's basically what he means. So I just feel like Ren observes the duality between night and day, play and work. You know what I'm saying? The juxtaposition, right? If he sleeps now, it feels anticlimactic, like surrendering before, I guess, the day begins. You know what I'm saying? Like when he was on the phone with his boy, he was trying to. That's basically what he was describing right there. So the people rising for work reflect the sun rising in the sky, right? So at the same time, though, while those out on the lash, partying or whatever, represent the chaotic side of life. You know what I'm saying? So that's the duality almost, right? So this juxtaposition of order and disorder, it just runs throughout the song. He's emphasizing that these opposing forces are always present in the city's rhythm. You can feel it. It's in the air. You know what I'm saying? It's in the air. You see in the video, he's just like, he's so into it. He's so into it. It's dope. It was a one shot, one take. What I really respect is that he's always doing these one take, one shot videos. And it's like, I'm always impressed by stuff like that. But then he gets more into the dark realities of the city, right? So bear with me. It's beautiful. I think it's irrefutable. This beauty in contradicting Britain, indisputable. He said, junkie in a cubicle. That old spoon is usable. His mother's in the black suit crying at a funeral. It ain't all peaches and cream. He has to give you both. You know what I'm saying? And that's what a real artist should do, I'd say. That's what they should do. Ren doesn't shy away from like, the dark corners of the city. And he doesn't shy away from dark corners of life ever. That's he says there's beauty in Britain, but it's complicated. You know what I'm saying? Some relationships are like that. The junkie using a spoon for heroin and the grieving mother at a funeral, are stark, painful realities, but they're real, Yet Ren insists there's beauty in this contradiction though. You know what I'm saying? And he's challenging you to find the beauty in it. He's challenging you. Right? Even if it's hard to accept, it isn't a glamorous depiction of life. It's messy, it's tragic, it's brutally honest. 9 to 5 crucible. This route is not commutable. A kid falls off the tracks, then serves a stretch in juvenile. Like, yeah, that happens too. You know what I mean? Some people get setbacks early on in their life just because of the influence that roam around their cities, because the cities are full of what? Good folks, bad folks, confused folks. And some people get taken advantage of, and you can end up in the juvenile at a young age, right? So this section really just reflects, I would feel, how the working class grind can become a trap. You know what I'm saying? Don't get it twisted. The 9 to 5 is crucible. I like that. It just suggests that, daily labor becomes a trial by fire, almost like a grueling test of just endurance. For those who can't stay on the right path, it becomes challenging, right? The consequences are harsh. That's another thing. As shown by the kid who, who gets caught up in the system, right? And ends up in the juvenile detention. It's a cycle that feels impossible to escape at times. I've been there. Trust me. That's why I'm like directly relating to this. He said Libby's at the Dolies, but her disposition is humorful, while Davy's at the boogies and his mates call him delusional. So even in the bleakest circumstances, Ren highlights, how humor and camaraderie keep people going almost, right? So like Libby's lighthearted attitude contrasts with Davy's gambling addiction, right? Showing how people cope in different ways. Some with humor, I'm like that, some with humor. Others with just straight up denial. I've been like that as well. So one thing I don't want to let's not lose focus of is this is all relatable. Like that dude that called me weird, he ended up calling me weird too. That dude that called me weird or called Ren weird, it's like, do you think this guy can relate to any of this? I guarantee he can, right? I guarantee. Britain, drink it down, moan about the weather. When the sun starts shining, feel the fact of 10 tremor. So this captures, I would say, just a quintessential part of just British culture, right? I guess that's what he's trying to capture. He's trying to get us, even those who may not be familiar with it. He's complaining about the weather, no matter the season. So even when things will improve, when the sun shines and there's still an unease, I can relate to that too. As if happiness itself feels foreign or unsettling. The factor 10 tremor. First of all, this dude's man smart. First of all, but he's suggesting that even good things come with what? Anxiety, reinforcing the bittersweet nature of the song, right? Of the song, but of life at the end of the day. He's always talking about life. So boys will be boys. Will be in it together until fists start flying like Conor McGregor. So this line just touches on, I would say, back to the camaraderie again. So he's talking about camaraderie and just I don't know, friendship, you know what I mean? Just the phrase boys will be boys carries both, I would say, warmth and criticism at the same time. So he's acknowledging the shared bond between friends, but, also the tendency for things to just escalate quickly into conflict, right? If you haven't fought your friend, you probably weren't that close. You know what I'm saying? When you're too close, you bump heads. And that's what, me and my friends bump heads all the time. But he's referencing Conor McGregor. That's just to add, everybody knows Conor McGregor is a known fighter for his explosive temper, I would say, right? So that's the whole analogy there. But it adds a touch of humor, obviously, but also emphasizes on how small disagreements can just like escalate and spiral out of control, right? And that happens a lot, especially between friends. But the dope thing is he's somehow bringing all this back to relate to what the topic at hand is: bittersweet, right? Stuff. Some things are just bittersweet, right? And that's what I love about it, because he never loses the point. You know what I mean? Never loses the point. But it's bittersweet how my high found its way to be low. And I've said it once before: as above, so below. Living on the streets of Britain, you just go with the flow. Like, I don't know. Some of this just sounds like something about New York City. You know what I'm saying? But I would say this is the emotional, like, heart of the song at this point, right? Like, Ren reflects on like the fleeting nature. He reflects on the fleeting nature of joy. Like, the high always seems to, I don't know, crash into a low eventually. It's like the inevitable, right? The repetition of as above, so below. He's just reinforcing the idea that these cycles are inevitable. You know what I'm saying? That life in Britain, you know, as Ren describes it, is about learning to just, I guess, ride these ups and downs while accepting that these things will change moving forward regardless. So go with the flow, right? But he said, I'm done. I'm out for the night. As the sun paints the pavements, I'll turn out the light. White noise on the radio to quiet my mind. Always was an overthinker, just the way I'm designed. You know what I'm saying? I relate to that. Everything he said right there. He's really just closing the song now, but I guess with the moment of just quiet introspection now. You know what I'm saying? After the chaos of the night, you know, he finds solace in the simple act of just turning off the light, you know, and listening to the white noise. You know, some people are like that. My wife is like that. But his admission, I would feel like, of being an overthinker shows his deep self-awareness of just, it's a subtle nod to his mental battle that accompanies his lifestyle. It's an ongoing battle that he's always been going through, right? And he finds different ways to let you know what his struggle is. Hold on. Yeah, I heard you.
Oh, okay. I can't hear you if you can hear me.
No, I wasn't talking back. I heard you, but I was just wrapping up.
Okay, it's done.
All right. Dinner's ready. All right. Final thoughts. Well, hold on. We got to do the live version real quick. How much time we got? 27? Dang. Let's just listen to it. Let's just listen to it at least. 3 minutes. Yeah, we're good. I gotta eat. I'm not wearing my sling today. Had it on all day, and I just needed my arm to rest. Get some blood flow going. It's so stiff right now. I love this right here. I wonder if he's gonna sing it or rap it.
I've got dirt on my Reeboks from staying up all night. I spent my last £10 on this pack of Marlboro Lights. I phoned up Stevie, I said, G, you alright? He said, it's 6 in the morning, brother, get some shut-eye. I feel a sense of well-being this time in the morning. Wear my heart out of my hoodie while the city is snoring. Drunks falling off the sidewalks get issued a warning. Distant sirens, they crescendo like a symphony calling. This is the Britain I know. This is the Britain I love. There's poetry inside the city if you listen enough. Working class casualties out on the street sleep rough, while a mother with her baby takes a pram to the pub. And while she's knocking them down, the cost of living goes up. I can't relate to politicians with their head in the mud. I resonate with messy Fridays with my boy smoking bud. We do our bit to numb the struggle. As below, so above. As above, so below. Here in this city we glow. I blow a smoke ring up to heaven and it makes a halo. And then the clock strikes 7. Guess it's time to head home. My companion is the city, so I'm never alone. Stepping in and out of gaps of the pavement cracks. If I go to sleep now, that's an anti-climax. People rise for work and the sun mirrors that. A perfect juxtaposition for those out on the lash. Bear with me, it's beautiful, I think it's irrefutable. There's beauty in the contradicting Britain, indisputable. Junkie in the cubicle, his old spoon is usable. His mother's in a black suit, crying at a funeral. 9 to 5 crucible, this route is not commutable. A kid falls off the tracks, then he serves a stretch at juvenile.
He's delivering it
Libby's
differently.
At the dolies, but her disposition's humorful.
He's evoking a different emotion out of me now because he's delivering this way differently. He's even taking certain pieces, going high and low, deep and stretch. Like he's stretching certain pieces, and the sonics are, I don't know, it's projecting something different, and in return I'm receiving it differently.
While Davy's at the bookies and his mates call him delusional Britain. Drink it down and moan about the weather when the sun starts shining. Feel the factor 10 tremor. Boys will be in it together till the fists start flying like the Conor McGregor, and then he's out. I think he took it too far. I think the boy saw red. I think he hit him too hard. Now he's face down on the pavement with a face full of tar. Mad how small altercations can define who we are. That's my cue. I guess it's time to head home. Bittersweet how my high found its way to below. And I've said it once before, as above so below. Living on the streets of Britain, you just go with the flow. But I'm done. I'm out for the night. As the sun paints the pavements, I'll turn out the light. White noise on the radio to quiet my mind. I always was an overthinker, just the way I'm designed. Britain. Drink it down and moan about the weather. When it's all said and done, we'll be in it all together. Boys will be like you forever. It's a bittersweet symphony with birds of a feather.
You the man, bro.
'Cause it's a bittersweet symphony that's life.
Raw.
Trying to make ends meet. You're a slave to money, then you die.
Ooh, the harsh reality. The man, bro. You the man, bro. You the man, bro. I always look forward to the live version, man. The live version, it just strips the song down to its just raw essence, man. Like, that's the whole point, I feel like, what he does with it, right? It's without the polish of the studio track, right? His delivery feels more vulnerable now, almost conversational. So, like, as if he's speaking directly to the audience. It's no longer about a performance. It's about a conversation to be had. And you're involved in the conversation, you know. Listen, speak, and then act. It always feels like a call to action. Just the imperfections in the performance, I would say the breathlessness, you know, emotion breakthrough you can feel in certain lines. It just adds authenticity to the message. Because at the end of the day, it's always a message, right? He's always delivering a message. So it's like the live setting brings out the poetry in the words. That's what I would say. So he's emphasizing the intimacy of the song. It's not just music. It's a glimpse into Ren's world, a world we all live in. Do you see it the same way? Because for him, it's unfiltered and real. You know, it's this to me was a masterclass on storytelling. If anything, Bittersweet Symphony, masterclass on storytelling, real storytelling. Ren just weaves personal experiences, social critiques, you know, like he always does, and just poetic imagery into a portrait almost, right? A verbal portrait of life. The modern day Britain. For him anyways, right? He captures the highs and lows of urban existence, of course, but the beauty, the chaos, man, the humor, the tragedy, everything. This song just isn't about his experiences. It's a reflection of a shared reality, inviting listeners, me and you, to find meaning in the contradiction of life. Making-A-RENegade, episode 7, season 2. We out.